Hello, my friends. Hope everybody's having a great day today. I know I am because I get to talk to you guys. Uh, Today, we are going to be talking about Asteroid City from 2023, directed by Wes Anderson. Most of us have probably seen a Wes Anderson movie. My personal favorite is The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, my favorite Wes Anderson movie. Um, and he has his own kind of style for his direction and stuff like that. His color palettes, the way his writing is, with it's super dry and awkward, uh, things like that. And those are like his trademarks, and I really like those aspects of his films. But let's just get it down. Let's just break it down. Get down to the nitty gritty. This one is too much like his normal fare. It dives, or I say it dives, it goes too far into his awkwardness, into his dry dialogue. With it's written superbly. The dialogue's always good and it's always well written, but in this instance it seems like he just kind of, I don't know, is I don't want to say it's his magnum opus, like this is like he took all of his creativity and threw it into this one movie. But at the same time, this is more Wes Anderson than Wes Anderson, if that makes any sense. It's just so I don't know. The color palette's really weird, but the story's hard to follow. The I like the color palette because it almost looks like the Barbie movie, or like it's a stage play. It really has that stage play feel to it because the production design is very open. It's pretty it's intricate, but you can tell that it's a set and it's not necessarily just, hey, we're filming on location in a desert somewhere. This was a set in a studio, and you could tell it was. And I have no complaints with that. I thought it was very unique and it looked really, really cool. But where it gets kind of hazy for me is when we start getting into the story and we're following it, and we're following a story with a bunch of different characters. And all the characters are unique, but none of them are ever really developed. At least in my opinion, they aren't. I see there's a lot of good dialogue between characters and they have some interesting interactions, but you never really get any depth from any of them. You don't see any growth. You don't see any, I don't know the word I'm looking for. You mainly don't see any growth. The characters don't really go through an arc per se. They're just in the asteroid city where an asteroid came down, however long ago, and it's kind of like their trademarks of their city. But this is also kind of like Wes Anderson's venture into science fiction because there's some aliens that come down, and it just gets very, I don't want to say cartoony, but it gets very artsy. That's a good word for it. It gets really, really artsy. The aliens, they're goofy looking. It's cool though, but it's just his brand of science fiction that doesn't really lend itself to the traditional science fiction models, if that makes sense to anyone other than myself. I just feel like he wrote this thinking that he was going to make his own sci-fi slash alien invasion movie, and for me it fell flat. I wasn't impressed by it. Like, we have a great cast of characters. We have Scarlett Johansson, Jeffrey Wright. I mean, we have Adrian Brody. We have a bunch of A-list actors and people that have been in his films before that are normally really, really good. But again, the writing does not lend itself to these characters having any depth. So it was hard for me to get behind them. And when they're turning in these excellent performances, but I just didn't understand the story. It wasn't, and his stories aren't necessarily easy to follow, but they're not hard to follow either. This just kind of, it didn't impress me. I'm sorry, guys. I have the hiccups really bad. Um, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, I wasn't impressed with this. I thought it was kind of contrived and pretentious. It felt like Wes Anderson was like, I know people are going to watch my movies because of my name, so I'm just going to, make whatever I want to. And hey, if that was his motivation, that's cool because he does have a name that people when they hear Wes Anderson, they're like, "Oh, one of those movies." So then they go and they want to see it. And I think that in this instance, perhaps he relied on his name. He was like, well, I'm Wes Anderson. People are going to want to see what I make. So let's do it. And, maybe upon a revisit, I'll come back to this and I'll say, well, I understand it more now. Or there was character development and I just didn't notice the first time. Maybe that'll happen upon a revisit. But as of right now, I'm giving Asteroid City 2 stars because, again, it was super dry, super awkward, very Wes Anderson, but not coherent. Um, so yeah, 2 stars. It's streaming on Peacock if you guys want to check it out. If you're a Wes Anderson fan, absolutely go check it out because you'll probably like it. I'm a Wes Anderson fan, but it was, for me, hard to follow. Streaming on Peacock if you guys want to check it out. If you guys want to get connected with more Cinema Dolce 56 content, by all means, like and subscribe, ring the little bell, go to the Facebook group, Cinema Dolce, and for all the TikTokers, like and subscribe over there, and then come like and subscribe over here. But anyway, guys, that's all for Asteroid City, and I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. I love you guys. God bless. Peace out.